Hi everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Product Management Chronicles. I'm Alex and I will be your guide as we explore how some of the most iconic software products have evolved over time. In this channel, we are diving deep into the strategic decisions behind these products, from their initial concepts to market success, all through the lens of product management. We are going to analyze everything from the methodologies and business strategies that drove their growth to how they impacted user engagement and overall business goals. If you're as passionate about product management as I am, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Today we are diving into one of the most iconic and universally recognized interfaces of all time, the Google search page. We'll journey through its evolution from a simple functional design to the sleek and dynamic page we use today, analyzing the key decisions and strategies behind these transformations. Before we dive into the Google search page as we know it, let's take a quick trip back to where it all began. What you are looking at is a screenshot of the Backrub project from 1997. Now, if you haven't heard of Backrub before, that's because it was the original name for what eventually became Google. Backrub was essentially a web crawler designed to explore and map out the internet, long before search engines became a part of our daily life. When you first glance at this early design, it's clear this was built during a very different time in web development. Functionality was prioritized over form. The design is basic, almost entirely text-driven, which was pretty standard for the late 90s. The most eye-catching element here is definitely the Backrub logo showing a hand massaging a bag, kind of a fun note to the project's name. The page is divided into sections, giving you a snapshot of the system's activity. Things like a notification about a local network issue, a demo link, and some performance stats. It's a bit of a mix between technical information and updates, serving both the researchers and early users who would have been checking out this project. From a product management standpoint, this page speaks volumes about where their focus was. The priority was functionality, making sure the core features worked and gathering user feedback. The simple layout made it easy for users to find the essential tools without getting bogged down by unnecessary distractions. What's also interesting is the emphasis on transparency through detailed performance stats. This kind of openness is key, especially when your user base consists of academics and early adopters. Showing how many URLs were crawled and other metrics was crucial for building trust and guiding future development. All in all, the Backrub web page was a masterclass in focusing on what matters, keeping things simple, transparent, and user-centric while continuously improving based on real data. These foundational principles were key stepping stones on the path to creating what we know now as Google. Alright, let's move on and check out the early Google search engine's interface. This is where we see some significant progress from its predecessor Backrub. Let's break down what's happening here from a product management perspective. First up, the logo. Compared to Backrub's logo, this one is way more colorful and playful. They likely did this to create a stronger, more memorable brand identity. The primary colors really pop and give the whole thing a friendly, approachable vibe. This shift shows they knew branding would play a big role in user experience and product differentiation. And branding is huge for any product, but especially for something aiming to be as universal as a search engine. A recognizable logo can really boost brand recall and build trust. Now, let's talk about the core functionality. You'll notice two main search options, Search Stanford and Search the Web. It's clear they were thinking about their initial audience, Stanford students and researchers, but also had an eye on a broader web user base. By offering these options, they cater to different user needs right from the start. The search fields and buttons are super straightforward, focusing on getting the job done. Users could even customize the number of results and choose clustering options before hitting search. These early customization features show their commitment to giving users more control over their research experience. You'll also see the disclaimer at the top. This is a demo of the Google search engine. Note, it is research in progress, so expect some downtimes and malfunctions. This kind of transparency is key, especially during the beta phase. They are managing user expectations while building trust by letting people know this is still a work in progress. Being open about where the product stands helps keep users' expectations realistic. Plus, it invites them to be part of the journey by offering feedback, which is essential for making improvements over time. And take a look at the credits for key developers like Larry Page and Sergey Brin. By giving a nod to their team, they are not just building credibility but also fostering a sense of community. Recognizing contributors is a great way to humanize the product and make it clear that it's built by real people. This approach also makes early adopters and stakeholders feel more connected to the project. Overall, this early Google interface is a fascinating mix of functionality, transparency, and emerging branding. It set the stage for what would eventually become the most dominant search engine in the world. Let's continue to this 1998 iteration of Google's interface, a defining moment in the product's evolution as it launched in beta. Right away, the design feels more polished, reflecting strategic shifts aimed to enhancing both user experience and branding. First, notice the logo. It's still vibrant and playful, but now with a beta tag. This subtle addition does more than indicates ongoing development. It builds user curiosity and signals they are engaging with something innovative, even if it's not yet fully mature. The colorful logo continues playing a pivotal role in branding, ensuring Google's identity is easily recognizable and memorable. Branding aside, the core functionality remains front and center. The simple search bar, paired with the options Google Search and I'm Feeling Lucky, puts emphasis on efficiency. This reinforces Google's mission, delivering quick, relevant results with minimal friction. The straightforward design makes the search experience intuitive and distraction-free, a core principle that remains with Google to this day. Another interesting addition is the special searches section catering to specific communities like Stanford and Linux users. This is a clever strategy signaling early on that Google can be versatile and relevant across different user groups beyond just general web search. This move likely helped expand Google's early user base by appealing to these niche audiences. There is also a greater focus on user engagement and support. Links to help and about Google ensure users have resources at their fingertips, reinforcing transparency and reliability. Transparency builds trust, especially in a beta phase where users expect issues. Google smartly manages this by setting clear expectations and offering guidance when needed. Interestingly, Google is already thinking about retention strategies. The Get Google Updates monthly feature is an early form of email engagement. This shows how even in its infancy, Google was laying the groundwork for long-term user relations through consistent updates, a strategy that has only grown more sophisticated over time. Okay, let's take a closer look at the 1999 version of Google Search interface. This one really starts to show Google coming into its own, refining and simplifying things while sticking to the core principles they had already set up. So the first thing that jumps out here is the addition of the More Google link. It's like a hidden treasure chest, giving users a gateway to the all extra goodies Google has to offer: news, advanced search, you name it. This little link does a big job by keeping the main page clean and uncluttered, which is super important for making the user experience smooth and easy. But at the same time, it opens up a whole world of options for anyone who wants to dive deeper. This is classic Google, keeping things simple but powerful. Now, they didn't mess with the core search features, and that's a big win. By keeping the essential elements consistent, Google made sure that users felt at home. No need to relearn anything, just the reliable, fast search engine they have come to expect. This kind of consistency is gold when it comes to user retention. People love it when they know what to expect and can rely on something familiar. All in all, this version shows Google mastering the balance between simplicity and functionality, which is key to their product management strategy. They kept the user experience front and center while slowly expanding the features and services, just what you expect from a product management playbook. Let's proceed into the Google search engine interface from the year 2000, where we see some major upgrades and a design that starts feeling much more global. The logo now features a world map in the background. Quite a symbolic gesture as Google signals its ambition to reach users across the globe. This map isn't just decorative, it's a visual nod to Google's mission to connect the world through search. They are really owning on being more than just a search engine. They want to be the search engine for everyone, everywhere. The global focus is also reflected in a new drop-down menu offering language options. By allowing users to choose their preferred language, Google shows that it understands the power of localization, making sure their search engine is accessible and intuitive for a diverse international audience. This addition doesn't just improve usability, it's also a clear indicator that Google is thinking big. The familiar search features are still front and center, keeping things simple for users who just want to jump right in. But this version introduces a few more layers. We see links like About Google and Jobs at Google pop up, offering users more insights into the company itself. It is no longer just about providing search results now. Google is also telling its story and inviting people to join in on their mission. This builds deeper connections with users, enhancing brand loyalty and trust. Another new feature here is the Browse Web Pages by Category link. It's all about giving users more ways to explore the web, making the search experience richer and more tailored to individual interests. So what we are looking at here is a design that balances global reach with user-friendly simplicity. The updates highlight a product management strategy focused on expansion, inclusivity, and deeper user engagement, all while maintaining the straightforward functionality that's been Google's hallmark since day one. The interface from the early 2000s, around 2003, represents Google's growing maturity in both design and functionality. At this stage, Google had already established itself as a leading search engine, and the interface shows their response to evolving user needs. A key change here is the introduction of tabs like Web, Images, Groups, Directory, and News. This was a strategic move, allowing users to quickly access specific content types, which reflects Google's growing awareness of user intent. This versatility was key in attracting different user segments from casual browsers to researchers. The layout remains clean and minimalist, but with more refined features. The presence of advanced search, preferences, and language tools underlying Google's focus on customization. These options empower users to tailor search results to their specific needs, improving overall satisfaction. It's a fine balance between simplicity and providing depth for those who want it. Monetization is now more visible, with clearly labeled sponsored links appearing alongside organic results. This revenue strategy, while subtle, plays a critical role in funding ongoing innovation while maintaining user trust through transparency. Clearly marking ads helped ensure that users could distinguish between paid content and genuine search results, which was essential for making credibility. Another interesting aspect is how search results are organized into categories like games, science, and technology. This categorization helps users filter through information more efficiently. Additionally, options like cached and similar pages provide users with more tools to explore related content. This interface highlights Google's evolving product strategy, balancing user experience, expanding features, and embedding a sustainable business model. It's a testament to how Google continuously refined its search product while keeping simplicity at the core. Let's dive into the Google search engine interface from the early 2000s, which was branded as Froogle before evolving into what we know now as Google Shopping. The screenshot from The early 2000s shows how Google explored the product search and e-commerce space with a clean, straightforward layout. One of the first things you'll notice is the extensive list of product categories, from apparel and accessories to toys and games. This design choice isn't just about aesthetics. It's a critical product management decision aimed at enhancing user experience. Categories allow users to quickly and efficiently browse products, reflecting an understanding of how important easy navigation is in e-commerce. The service's tagline, "Find products for sale from across the web," immediately tells users what Froogle is all about. And right next to that, there is a "What is Froogle" link. This transparency in communicating the product's purpose is crucial for user onboarding, ensuring that users instantly grasp its value proposition. Notice how the footer includes resources for both buyers and sellers. This is a smart move because it creates a balanced ecosystem where merchants can list products while users have plenty to explore. Addressing both user groups is key to growing a platform like this. More merchants lead to a better product variety, which in turn attracts more users. But the story does not end there. Froogle eventually transitioned into Google Shopping, and this shift was driven by more than just a name change. As e-commerce evolved, Google recognized that a unified and streamlined shopping experience was the way forward. Rebranding to Google Shopping allowed the platform to integrate paid product listings more seamlessly, enhancing monetization opportunities while leveraging Google's powerful search algorithms. This rebranding wasn't just cosmetic, it aligns the service with Google's broader brand strategy. Froogle's name, though playful, was limited in appeal. Google Shopping, by contrast, felt more polished and professional, which was essential for competing against e-commerce giants. By listening to user feedback and responding to market trends, Google was able to make this transition successfully. So what we see here is not just a snapshot of an early product, it's a lesson in how a brand evolves with its audience while keeping user experience and strategic growth at the forefront. Okay, let's chat about a fun piece of Google history, iGoogle. Back in the mid-2000s, this was Google's answer to a personalized homepage. Picture this: you open your browser and instead of just a plain search bar, you've got a dashboard packed with your favorite gadgets like weather updates, to-do lists, and even some quick stuff like virtual pets. But here is the kicker: they didn't mess with their winning formula. That iconic Google search bar? Still right there, front and center. They knew that even with all the bells and whistles, search was what people came for. The coolest part? You could totally make it your own. You could pick a theme to match your moods, shuffle widgets around, or dive into the gadget library to find new tools or just fun distractions to add. It was all about making your homepage feel like your space. So why did it eventually get the axe? Well, by the time 2013 rolled around, everyone was glued to their smartphones. Apps and newer services like Google Now started doing what iGoogle did, but better and more seamlessly. So they wrapped it up and moved on. Looking back, it's interesting to see how these early experiments with customization set the stage for so much of what we see today: personalization, integrated tools, and digital spaces designed just for you. Alright, so let's check out an interesting phase in Google's journey from the mid-2000s. Here we have a search results page for Posh Spice. It's a great snapshot of how Google was evolving to make search results more relevant and user-friendly. Let's break it down. First up, those image results at the top. They're a prime example of Google figuring out that sometimes people just want to see pictures. By placing images front and center, they are making it super easy for anyone who's after quick visual content. This focus on image results is a clever move. If your search is all about something visual, like a celebrity of products, Google's already on the same page, literally by showing those images first. Right under that, you'll notice the news section. It's got a clean setup, headlines, snippets, and dates. Everything you need to stay in the loop without having to dig around. And check out the video section from YouTube. Google's starting to leverage its other services, bringing video content right into your search results. Including video results from YouTube isn't just about convenience. It's Google being strategic, creating a more enriched search experience by integrating content from across its ecosystem. So whether you are a visual learner or more a headline skimmer, this setup has you covered. It's clear that even back in the mid-2000s, Google was laser-focused on refining how search works to better meet our expectations. They were already mastering the blend of text, images, and video, all in one place, long before this became the standard. So let's talk about Google Suggest and how it changed the search experience. This feature first appeared in Google Labs as an experimental tool. Then, in August 2008, it was rolled out more broadly, offering users predictive search suggestions as they typed. Think of it like Google trying to guess what you are searching for even before you finish typing. It's interesting because Suggest became a window into what people are curious about, even sparking books and studies on search behavior. Ultimately, it paved the way for Google Instant in 2010, pushing even faster search interactions. Also, in 2010, Google decided to move the links to access different types of search results to the left side of the page. The idea here was pretty clever. Take advantage of wider computer screens, which had developed more unused space on the sides. The left-hand navigation made it easier to access various search options like images, news, and more without cluttering the main view. Despite the initial excitement, the sidebar was eventually phased out in later updates, showing that even innovative ideas sometimes need to be rethought. Now let's continue into another interesting chapter of Google's search interface journey, this time from the early 2000s. These screenshots are likely a snapshot of Google's ongoing quest to make search more personal, more integrated, and just plain easier to use. So one of the big changes here is the top navigation bar. This handy little feature gives you quick links to a bunch of other Google services like Maps, Images, Videos, News, Shopping, and even Gmail. It's like having all your favorite tools right at your fingertips. Google's really pushing the idea of a seamless ecosystem here, where jumping from one service to another is smooth as butter. And then there is the Change Background Image option down at the bottom right. This was Google's way of saying, hey, make this homepage your own. It's a nice touch of personalization that kept things interesting for users who like to mix it up a bit. Oh, and don't forget the footer. It's packed with links to advertising programs, business solutions, about Google, and privacy stuff. Basically, everything you might need to know about the Big G. Now, the search box itself, still front and clear, still simple, still exactly where you want it to be. And right under it, you get this neat little summary telling you how many results popped up and how fast Google did it. It's Google's way of saying, look how quick we are, which, let's be honest, is always good to know. On the left, we've got the sidebar with options like everything, images, videos, news, shopping, places, and more. It even lets you filter by location and time, so you can really zero in on what you are looking for. And check out the map on the right side of the search results, especially useful for location-based searches like Kennedy Space Center. It's like Google saying, here is the info you need, and oh, by the way, here is where it is on the map too. Super handy, right? Let's wrap up our journey through the evolution of the Google search interface by checking out its latest look. Here is what's cool about this modern design. It's the perfect blend of tradition and innovation. The updated Google logo has a sleek, modern font but still rocks those familiar colors we all recognize instantly. It's a classic but fresh. You'll also notice the little microphone icon for voice search, super handy in today's voice-first world. It's Google keeping up with how we search now. And look at all this white space. It's like a breath of fresh air, right? The minimalist design is all about cutting out the clutter and letting the search box shine front and center. Everything here is focused on one thing, getting you straight forward to what you're looking for without any distractions. Simple, effective, and classic Google. And that ends our deep dive into the evolution of the Google search interface. From its humble beginnings as the Backrub project to the sleek, user-friendly design we all know today, we have seen Google's commitment to simplicity, user-centric design, and constant innovation. Each update was a well-thought-out step towards making search more intuitive, responsive, and frankly, indispensable. I hope you found this journey through Google's history both insightful and maybe even a bit inspiring. It's pretty cool to see how every tweak and change was made with the user in mind, and all while balancing tech advancement and keeping that famous minimalist vibe. If you enjoyed this little adventure, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to Product Chronicles. Plus, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below on what products you think we should break down next. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Product Chronicles. See you there!